Hey everyone, Carol Civil here at Journal Dream World, getting ready to do a little tutorial, kind of, play along with me, craft with me tutorial. So glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Hope you like it. Anyhow, we're going to get started. I don't want to make this too long for you. This idea came from a video I watched for junkjournalart, and that's Luise Heinzel. So it's junkjournalart at Luise Heinzel. This is where I got the idea from. Now, it's paper buttons, and isn't that cute? I did these yesterday, just a couple as samples. She did them differently than what I'm going to do. I needed to shorten the process because she had all these extra kind of things that she did, which was really fantastic. But just to, put on a card or whatever, I kind of shortened the process for myself. Because she uses them much more elaborately, so she does much more elaborate work, beautiful work. So I'm going to get started with the process that I came up with, which seems to be working for me, because I can't, things are super complicated. My brain just kind of it gets scrambled. And I'm going to relate that back to a fall I had when I was 9 years old. I fell out of the top bunk of a bunk bed onto a tile floor. Yes, I did. I was 8 years old and I cracked open the back of my skull. And so sometimes things get a little scrambled for me. I squirrel a lot. So I don't know if that's just me or if it's due to the fall. It could be just something that's in my DNA. So anyhow, I want to get started on this because I found a super way to do it. I'm starting up Christmas journals. I've actually got one done. I'll do a flip through on that shortly. But this is what I did for this process. What I did and what you'll need. Now I used a 1-inch punch because I want them to be more button size. Now you can make them bigger, or if you have a half-inch punch, you can make them smaller. I found this size to be just right. I can use them on tags, I can use them on journal pages, I can use them on a cover, and I can kind of do whatever I want. Plus, I had a 1-inch punch. So I got that. I've got my art glitter glue. Now you can use whatever kind of glue you want. You can actually use a washable glue, a school glue, Yoo-hoo, whatever. You can use Fabri-Tac if you want, but I just figured I didn't need Fabri-Tac because Fabri-Tac costs more. So, and where I'm putting them in the journals and just using them as accent pieces, I really don't need them to be super strong. So, didn't need that. This I didn't feel was going to be strong enough. So that's why I've decided I'm going to use the art glitter glue. And you'll need, you don't have to, and I'll explain this further on as we get along here. I like to use the glossy accents for these. That's how I got them so shiny. I don't know if you can see that. And I had some music paper and I just put down on there. And you'll need either a hole punch, like an awl, or if you want to use your crocodile, you can use that, which I'm using because I just find it easier to use. Once I got my setting done right, I'm using the small hole. It has 2 size holes. It has the bigger one, which is too big for this size button, but this one seemed, I don't know, it just seemed to work perfect. That way, if I did want to string through there or twine or whatever, the hole's big enough, but it's not too big. And now I've got this just so when I'm done, I've got the glossy accents on it. I can scoop it up and put it over on my tray. And I got these. These are actually tiny swabs and they're great for doing the inside of things. So I'm using my vintage photo distressed ink, and to go around the insides of the holes. Now I've got one over here drying, so I don't want to touch it. So I'm doing right now Christmas theme. So what I did is I pulled out a lot of scraps, Christmas scraps, and I went through and just picked out ones I liked and just punched a lot of different things. So and this goes quick, a lot quicker than Luise's, but I'm telling you, hers were beautiful. So go over there and take a peek at hers. Excuse me. But anyhow, and then you'll need some backing pieces, because this is, you know, if you're using just paper, some of these are thicker than others, but you want it to have a little bit of thickness to it, to look more like a button, but you don't want them too thick so that it warps your page. When you use real buttons, which are beautiful, I use buttons a lot in my journals, but they can be thick so that when the next page lays down on top, it kind of pushes up, and it can poke through the page depending on what you got. So you got to be real careful if you're doing that. But these allow it to stay very thin. I don't know if you can see that. If I've got it up, let me see if you can see this. See how thin that is? Let me put it between my fingers. You can see. See? It's pretty thin. So, as compared to a real button. So you can lay it on the page. Looks like a button, but it's not, you know, making your page thicker. Okay. So here's what I do. And I have found for these, for the ones I'm using, because you want it to be sturdy. You know, you don't want it bending or warping on you. I have found that 2 pieces, and I used cardstock. I had a piece of brown cardstock, like not the super thick cardstock. And I've also used like paper pad, the backs. I punched those out. So you don't want them too thick, because then you end up right back where the whole reason that you're doing this is not to have thick. Okay, so I'm going to pick out a piece here. Let's do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do around, get it over to the edges. Then I'm just going to take another piece. I'm going to stick that on there. I'm going to go around, tap it down, make sure it's on there good. I used 2 of them. That seems to be just the right thickness for what I'm doing. So, some glue on there. Pick up another one. Push down, make sure it's on there good. Make sure I've got it all the way around good. Okay. Now you're gonna distress the edges of this. So I just get it and I squash it down really, really, really good. Okay, so we've done that. Then I'm just gonna take I think I got this from, was it Crafty Cat USA? But I tell you what, I've got arthritis in my hands. This is the one I was using, and I always have to like grip this tighter, and it was really hurting my hand. This, I barely grip it. It's so nice on my hand. Plus it's beautiful, and these are handmade. And I'll put the link to, I'm pretty sure it's Crafty Cat, but I want to make sure. I don't want to lead you wrong. So I'll link that in my, so I'm getting this, you know, and you can do it as much as you want. You know, you can go over here, You just want it to give it that real button look. You want to get it just darker on the edges. Okay, now I'm going to punch the holes. Now I've already measured on here what works best for me. So I'll put this in, get it, make sure it doesn't have anything in there. I get it to the edge. Now I've got this hitting a little, you can see it piece down in here. Don't let it slide under, make sure it's hitting that because you want it to come out right. Then get it in the middle, punch. Just keep my handy dandy little thing here. There we go. And then I'm going to put the other side in, you know, line it up, punch. There we go. Now, you can't really see them now. I mean, you can see them on this side. And you can move those in closer if you want. You can just, you know, measure out what you want. You can use a dowel, you know, the awl, A-W-L. That's what you call it. The awl. And poke holes. I just find this nice because it makes them symmetrical. And then what I do is I use these, and you can use just a regular... you can use a pen and put in here and go around. Use black, brown, whatever. But I find that this works for me. And I'm going to go in there. It's easier to have it set down. I'm going to go around. So I get the inside. And then I'm just going to go around the outside of the hole a little bit. Hope you can see that. So I'm going to do the inside. And then I'm going to do right around the outside of it. You don't need to do the back because this is going to be glued onto whatever it is you're doing. Voila, a button. Now, the last part is to get the glossy look of a button. So I take my glossy accents. Always start on the edges, so you have your border. You know, make sure you have a good control of what's going on there. And just kind of fill it in. If you get any holes, take your pointing tool and just, you know, pop the holes. So I'm just kind of going around here, making sure I have enough on. Okay. I'm going to look it over. I see a couple spots where I missed a little couple spots, so I'm going to use my pointy thing just to kind of get those. I might need to put just a tad bit right here. And there's couple little bubbles, and you just move those bubbles around, they'll go away. Okay. If you get a little crack, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, now I want to move it to my tray. I've got this. This is from an old, very old Cricut machine, like the first ones that came out. I have kept the tools forever, and boy, have they come in handy. So I just scooch it under here, move it over to my little tray. And what I usually do is I'll set these over on my thing in the sun. And you just keep going, you keep making buttons. It's that simple. It's that simple. So let's find one with the trees on it. So I'm putting the glue on the back. And once you get in the rhythm of it, these really do go quick. Okay, one. And if you're sitting around someday, you know, just doing nothing, you can glue 2 of these together and have them ready to go. You know, you can build up your stash. These are specifically Christmas, and that's what I like, is because I can make buttons that go with whatever it is I'm working on, whatever theme it is I'm doing. So I kind of like that. Make sure it's on there nice and even. And then press it down. Make sure you get the edges down really good. Get that excess glue out of there. This is little trees. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Where is it? There. Okay, I'm going to come in here. Darken up my edges. Now see, if you wanted to have this more brown tone, you could go over this lightly. You just kind of, let's just do it. I'm just barely tapping that. You see there? Let me compare it to one. See the difference? So you can have it white if you want, or you can darken it up. You just want to have these dark edges. That's what gives it a really neat look. Okay, so that's done. Oh, wrong pile. Okay, so now I'm going to punch my holes. Make sure you're using the right side. Now these, I'm going to kind of look at your pattern when you're doing this, because I don't want to punch right on top of the tree. So I'm going to use this as my center. These are so little they get stuck in there. Okay. And then I'm going to come up this way. And there's my holes. Now, that won't fit in there. Some people, I've seen those little teeny tiny, well, that was weird. I was trying to say. Yeah, Carol. Oh my gosh. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Oh my word. You know, remember what I said? My brain was cracked when I was young. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. There's little tiny little like mini bottle brushes. I thought, now those would probably do the inside of these too. And then I like to have that little dark edge going around. A little dark edge going around. They don't have to be the same. Okay, so we got that done. Oh, gotta be careful with my glossy accents. Keep the top on. And then I'm gonna put my glossy accents around. Glossy accents makes everything so pretty. It's okay if it runs down inside your hole. It doesn't matter. Oh, that one came out really pretty. Oh, it's like perfect on there. And then you just slide it on there. And then when they dry, I don't know why I did that, because that one's not dry yet. Oh well, that's okay. Nothing's perfect in journal making. So it's got a little bit, might be able to touch that up. Let's see here. That was not, something I should have done was touch it. Here we go, all fixed. And then of course keep your thing cleaned off. And you just keep going and you keep going and make them all. So I'm gonna make another one here. Let's do the deer. I mean, I don't even think it takes a whole minute to do one. I should time it just to see. Because once you get the hang of it, you get to moving faster with it. Push down, then roll it just to make sure everything's on there properly. Okay. We got the deer. Maybe do the holes this way. There we go. So, see, there's a little bit there, and you can take something and just kind of push it back. Got that out of there. And I don't need to do anything to the interior of this because it's already like brown. This is all just leftover scrapbook paper. I just cut strips and went to town with my punching it all out. Okay, well, then I'm gonna take my thing and I'm gonna do my center. Gonna do my center. Like I said, I don't care if it gets on the back because that's gonna be glued down, right? So I'm kind of just making my dark part around this, around the holes here. And then for drying time, I figure I like to leave them pretty much overnight, not mess with them. You know, because you can crack it. Never shake glossy accents bottle, or you'll end up with lots of bubbles in when you go to do it, and you'll also it'll crack when you squeeze it out and it dries. It cracks. So you can move it back and forth like that, but don't shake it. Oh, what am I doing? Just put the top on what I needed. See what I mean? Oh, okay. So we're gonna go around, get my finger out of the way. It kind of makes like your little border there. Okay. Okay, so I've got that on. Oh, I see a spot right there. Should let the top off for a while. Sometimes it takes a minute to settle. And once it settles, you can see the spots. Because it doesn't really matter how thick it is. because it's still going to look great. Okay, I think I got everything on that one. So I'm going to do like that. Put it on my tray. And you can see that one's almost dry. That's the one I touched by accident. I'm just going to look at the tree, how pretty that's coming. When it gets totally dry, it's totally clear. Like these. It'd be totally clear and shiny. Like little buttons. You can do music paper. You can do material even if you wanted to. That would look cool. So anyhow, that's my little tutorial on doing faux buttons for your thin ones for your scrapbook or journaling pages, whatever you're using it for. Cards work great on anything. So thank you for stopping by. I'm just going to keep making my buttons here, and hope you have a blessed, great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Peace out. Love everybody. Take care. Remember, love on each other. Bye.